Good up.
This is Channel 253.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain Podcast.
So speaking of the Brewers Association and GABF, they actually created a category this year just for Vera. So if you are competing a beer made with Vera, you can compete in the Vera category.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's really exciting. So
cool.
it's like I really hope they work with Amba next year for like the newest malt variety because like if Vera is getting that,
I'm going to cut you off. So shout out to bring it all back to malt.
yeah.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain Podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grit and Grain Podcast, coming to you guys from Peaks and Pints in Tacoma, Washington. So exciting. My name is Matt McLaren. I'm here as always with Ron Swarner.
Well, hello.
How's it going, Ron?
I'm smelling floral, a little resinous, and just the right amount of dank.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Tank.
I said smelling.
Our resident pro brewer and line cleaner, Bethany Carlson, is also on the mic. What's up, Bethany?
Hi, how are you
Hi.
guys?
Hi. How?
It's my first time.
I know.
Hello,
I think
everyone.
you've been here before.
Do you have a new website?
Me too. Did you look at it?
I did.
Yeah, it just went live like today.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, we
Congratulations.
got a new website built for the Funk Busters, and it looks awesome. Yeah.
It looks
Do you
awesome.
still
I
have
haven't
the
even-
amoeba like design too? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we didn't rebrand. Actually, I don't know if I talked about that on the podcast, but yeah, we kept the same logo and stuff. So, but we have a functional website.
Yeah, it's
now.
really clean and nice.
Awesome.
So,
Nice.
thanks. Shout out to Jacqueline Hope. She's the one who did it. She's local here in Tacoma. So
Awesome.
Excellent.
That's so exciting. I'll be creeping on you on the break.
cool.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please like and follow and do all that stuff. Subscribe just to keep up to date with what's going on. And this is a pretty important one for that because we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff that's going on. This is actually a super special raw ingredients doubleheader. Yeah, I'm so pumped. So back for, I think, your third
lucky number
episode.
3.
Yeah, is Rikki from Haas Farms.
Yeah, hey,
Welcome.
Rikki. Welcome. Thank you.
And then joining Rikki for this raw ingredients doubleheader is actually Brian from LINC Malt.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Guys,
Chilling.
Yay, Brian.
Man, the myth.
Yay, Brian.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I feel like we've talked about both of you guys plenty, but Rikki's been here before. So I'm super happy to have you here. I'm happy to have both of you guys here. This is going to be awesome. Plus, there's like cool shit coming up, and you guys are working on cool stuff as always. So we're going to get into it. But before all of that, what are you guys drinking?
Ooh, I'm having, oh shit. Oh no, I remember now. Okay. So I remember the last time I was on this podcast, I talked about a brewer that has a stronghold on my fan womanship. Tristan Carosas from Single Hill is a very wonderful dude. Actually, I think he's now brewing over at Trapdoor Brewing.
Formerly, yep.
Or,
yep.
yeah. But we are drinking, or I'm having the Feral Joy, which, was it Ron? Was that you that messaged me? Yeah. So this has HBC 1019,
Awesome.
which is a beautiful hop, which I brought for us to smell today, as well as Citra and Strata and what is this right here?
Yeah.
I didn't prepare. I'm really sorry. I just flew in and my
It's not your
arms are
beer.
tired.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a beautiful beer.
Single Hill now.
Yeah, it's a Single Hill.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, did you
I
just
didn't
catch my
see that
joke?
one over there.
No, that's
Yeah.
the most organically incorporated version of that joke I've heard in a long time. That was wonderful.
Yep.
You sounded like you'd invented that joke.
I know that you did.
You made that.
I was honestly practicing it today. I was like, how do I slip this in? Yeah, so Feral Joy. It's a beautiful hop. It's a beautiful beer. I'm just excited to be here. So thank you for having me
Sweet.
again.
We're
Thanks
excited
for
to have
coming.
you.
Yeah, you guys came from so far away, all the way over the mountains.
I know. Well, yeah. I guess Rikki also flew in from Illinois today.
Yeah,
so.
Chicago. Yeah.
Brian, what are you drinking, man?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of coming all this way, I'm drinking a hometown Spokane favorite, Lumberbeard Brewing. their Kiwi Crispy, which is latest of a really great series of NZ pills. So bright, plenty hoppy. I think it's probably a base of Buzz Pilsner from us in Coldstream. Yeah.
It's a series they do.
I mean, I think they've just been crushing it on this style of beer. So it seems like
Yeah.
as soon as one taps, they've got another one coming down.
They've got a lot of fun in the pike. Yeah.
I'm also drinking this tasty Pilsner. It's delicious.
That will be my next one. And what did I get? Number 19 on the menu.
Oh, me too. Larrabee,
Larrabee.
Crush.
Yeah, hazy IPA.
Yeah, it is
really
so
nice.
good. For a brewery that mostly does like lagers and like super classic European stuff, his hazies are outstanding.
They do an excellent
Really
job.
nice aroma.
So Rikki, why were you hanging out in Chicago?
So, what was I in Chicago for? So, the John I. Haas, the company I work for, has this program called the Hops Academy. And part of Hops Academy, there's road shows, there's little master classes, I have a food pairing dinner, there's all sorts of things. So, in Chicago, we had an event after the Illinois Brewers Guild meeting. We had a separate event at Revolution Brewing with the Hops Academy Roadshow. And it was just a basic, hey, let's play around with our euphorics. It's that terpene product I think I might have talked about before.
Yeah.
So a lot of different big fun flavors of euphorics. So we're showing off the euphorics and making people smell hops and drink beer and hang out. And it was wonderful. And Revolution Brewing, if you ever get the chance to go to Chicago, please go. It's a beautiful brewery. Jim Seebeck there, I think he's owner, head of production, that type of thing. One of the nicest people in beer you'll meet. He's Revolution Brewing is huge. It's been 15 years and they're hundreds of thousands of barrels, I think.
Nice.
But he is right there at the tanks, hey, you want to try this Oktoberfest packaging next week?
Cool.
Yes, please. Yes, I do. I would love that. Thank you very much. But he's just such a joy, and he's so he'll come out to Yakima for harvest, and he brought his wife last year. It was really sweet. Just they turn beer is a family for them, and it was neat to experience that and be there and meet all the Illinois brewers. I'm a little
Or Northwest on the brain.
yeah. So it was neat to see because your previous guest, Leslie Shore.
Yeah.
So Leslie and I are on the executive committee for the Master Brewers Association, the District Northwest chapter. And so because of that, I've gotten kind of more tied into what area brewers are worried about, what they want to learn about and stuff. So going to their Illinois Craft Brewer Guild meeting and listening to what they're talking about, what type of what type of excise taxes are they fighting, that type of thing.
Sure.
It was really interesting to see kind of a different perspective and different kind of focus on what they're brewing, how they're brewing it, and why they're doing it. And so, it was just fun.
Did you feel like it was different than the types of comments or reviews that you get from brewers in this area?
I mean, yeah, in some ways, yes, because in the Northwest, we have it really lucky. We have a lot more. Because I was asking everybody was so what local malt are you using? They're
What?
local, yeah. And so it was a lot less like that. And then hops are a little bit. They have to actually pay for shipping for hops, things like that. But in the end, they're all trying to differentiate their breweries. They're trying to make the hop waters and making the seltzers. THC seltzers are a lot more common down there, that type of thing. So it was interesting to hear that it's pretty similar to what Washington is dealing with, except for they just their Brewers Guild just fought down an excise tax raise proposition that somebody had. It was the first time somebody tried to raise an excise tax on craft breweries in 40 years.
Oh wow!
It's fucking that happens to us. Every other year they're
I
out
feel
trying
it's
to be
always,
please don't put us under. So they only had a few things like that they were fighting against, but there's other things happening. It was before the big beautiful bill or whatever got passed. They were already dealing with different types of taxation on tips and stuff out there.
Sure.
So kind of they were talking about how that was affecting them, and then that bill got passed, and so that's changing things too. And the consumer spending habit is not what people think was happening. There's you still have to worry about your frontline service workers. What are they going to actually get paid at the end?
Sure.
So yeah, a living wage is very important. Do you want me to just start? What
I know,
can
right?
I say right now? How political do you want me to get? Because I'm getting really into it. But yeah, so it was just in the end, it was all. It's may have a little bit different of an accent, if you will, but it's all kind of the same things. We're all in this together.
Everybody's kind of facing the same issues right now.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Sorry, long answer.
No, I know. That's honestly, I love that. It's also just awesome to be able to go around and kind of experience other people's like craft beer communities from like different regions, and like it's interesting to see how they're similar, how they're different. But at the end of the day, most communities, most guilds are kind of fighting the same stuff. And
Exactly.
that's, But you are right. We are spoiled with local malt, especially.
Yeah, we really are. I always feel so bad when I'm like, okay, so what local do you guys have? And they're like,
Yeah.
It's like, 15 states over still. It's like, oh,
Sure.
bummer. Sucks to suck.
So we are gonna it is a double header. We're gonna dig into like a bunch of malt stuff, especially in the second episode. But for anybody who isn't familiar with LINC Malt, Brian, can you talk about what you do there?
Yeah. So we're based out in Spokane. Very fortunate to be in the middle of a truly world-class grain growing region. But one where there's huge pressures to just continue to scale, huge pressures to participate in really tough commodity markets, and where, in some ways, that quality, I think, there's this missed opportunity. And LINC is in the business, whether it's grain or other agricultural products, of really trying to celebrate the farmers and just the quality and particular character of what they're growing. So we've been around for company's been around for 11 years. It's a farmer and worker-owned cooperative. The maltings will be 10 years old next spring.
Wow.
And really what we're trying to do is fill a key role between the producer and the end user, being the brewer, where there's this processing stage that until barley goes through it, the malting process, it's not functional or useful for brewers. But to solve that kind of supply chain challenge while still representing all the way back to the farm, representing the specific story and what makes that grain special. So that's very, very unusual for the malting supply chain. Sure. It is a globally consolidated industry, and one where anonymity and being generic is almost prized. And we don't really believe that that's what craft beer is ultimately interested in. And we're young enough where I think we're still kind of presenting the idea or the possibility that malt can be interesting, malt can be special, malt can be innovative. But we're super lucky, not just to have that kind of supply side opportunity in the inland Northwest, but in Spokane to be surrounded by a very community-driven brewing scene where folks are just excited to support one another, excited to see what folks are doing, and excited to be cranking out better and better beer all the time. And then in the greater Northwest to be in a brewing scene that's just as world-class as the grain that we're trying to produce and offer. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun right now. So a very small fish in a very big pond, but
Sure.
It's neat to get to do what we do, get to do it down the road from folks like Rikki, where what the hops industry has done over the last couple decades to respond to the ideas and the vision of craft beer, and not to say, so it's back in the day it was just we grow hops for Budweiser, Heineken, etc.
Right.
But enough craft beer came along, folks started coming through the Yakima Valley, and it's we've got things that are special for you. You don't just have to use the same product that we offer to the quote unquote big guys. And that light bulb of there's let's make special agricultural products for this this segment of beer specifically, and continue to try to discover with brewers y'all are a constant source of inspiration to us, and I think that grain in the Northwest would be well suited to keep learning that lesson. So we're in a fucking great part of the world to be having this
totally.
conversation.
The Northwest is best. It really is 100%.
It's we're very I feel like we try to convey that on the podcast as much as we can, but we're just as much about Tacoma as we are about everything that surrounds it, mostly because there's so much beer that was kind of rooted here with early immigration and the port city and all that. So plus great water. But it is, there's only a few places in the world where you can drink beer in the way that you drink it here, and from the places who are they're a couple hours drive from the farms where you're getting the ingredients. That's fucking insane these days. And malt especially, I feel like hops is maybe kind of folded into the craft beer culture in a way that malt quite hasn't achieved yet. I think there's been pockets of time maybe where it was close and it just didn't quite hit the same sort of stride that hops has. And I don't know. Do you feel like it's any closer now than it has been previously?
I mean, yeah, closer, but in that, like, you put one foot in front of the other, and occasionally you trip over your shoelaces and fall on your face. But, you know, I would characterize it as, I think the broader industry, as far as that, again, thinking in supply chains from the farm on up to the, you know, the processing and how it gets in the hands of the brewer, comparing hops and malted grain, the like recent histories of those two industries is quite different in terms of the approach and what's been prioritized. And, you know, I think there are a lot of different reasons for that, some of which make a ton of sense to me. But we definitely, I think, have like not a harder time, but like just more work to do. And, and where I think grain is you know, hops are flowers and barley is seeds, and flowers are like the more like sexy, romantic part of the plant, right? So if you think about that, it makes pretty logical sense that if in a craft beer industry that is kind of like built on the like eye-catching, head-turning, like, whoa, like I've only ever had Schlitz or whatever, like what in the hell is this India Pale Ale shit that you're asking me to drink? Like, it is more attention grabbing, and you just can't do that with grain. But I think as the industry has continued to mature, has continued to like really try to dial in on the specifics of like, why are we using these raw materials? What are we doing in our process? What are the styles that we're trying to present? That's opened up a world of opportunities for the grain side of things. And then I think it may be for correlated or indirect reasons, but as the consumer palate continues to both be refined, but also maybe say like, holy shit, that's too much flavor, that's not enough nuance. But I don't necessarily just want to go back to alcohol that tastes like water. That there are opportunities in what consumers are asking for from brewers. I think the other thing that's worth paying attention to, and this my background's in produce, which is the other side of the LINC cooperative, is basically a food distributor, is people really care about supporting their local economy, knowing where and how their products are grown. Folks want to be invested in that, and that just really hasn't been an option as far as thinking about the grain in your beer. Like, you can pursue, single farm fresh hop beers and like really get into the agriculture of that. Like, that just hasn't been offered. So I think the more we do that from like an end consumer perspective and say, yeah, there's a story behind this that makes it special. Not just does it taste great, but it's something that either as a region you should be proud of, or as just a drinker you should be really interested in. Beer should be fun and simple in a lot of ways, but there's a lot to it at the same time. So I don't know, long-winded answer, but
fucking well said. Are you kidding?
Really well said,
I've never been more hyped on grain in my life.
Let's go.
No kidding. Jesus.
And that's a wrap. No, just kidding.
And done.
Well, malt is such like a backbone to the beer, right? It's just the spine of a beer, and like the hops are right. Exactly. It's they smell nice. It's the first thing, in an IPA and stuff that you smell. And obviously IPAs are very popular in this region of the world. So yeah, you're up against all of that to compete with the malts, but also very important, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Rikki, does your desk still smell like an IPA?
Well, yeah, it's like my car smells like a foot during harvest, right? Like, it gets oxidized pretty quickly. But I think like
My car gets oxidized.
it's not, you can ask my husband. It's not great. But yeah, it's interesting because I really like what Brian was saying though. Is that so at work we kind of joke around like I'm the biggest malt fan at the hop company. Because I first met Brian. 8 years ago probably?
Yeah, 2017, 18 probably.
Yeah, because Iron Horse did a collaboration brew with the Grain Shed, which was part of the LINC Malt kind of family, right?
Grain Shed is so cool, by the way. If you guys are not familiar.
Oh, do you want to tell the story of the Grain
That is
Shed?
one of the, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that is like.
I'll just say, if you're in Spokane, which if you're not from Spokane, you should come and visit Spokane.
On August.
It's a great
8th.
place to be. Yeah, we'll get any day of the year, or nearly any day of the year. You should go to the Grain Shed. They're just a fascinating business that's a bakery and a brewery. Everything from like really classic like French pastries to like hearthy, like rich, like turkey sandwiches, and then you can get a great cup of coffee or a great beer or anything in between. They're baking it on site. They're milling a bunch of the grain on site. All the grain's all coming from local farms. A lot of it comes, directly through us. And they've also got this like killer. They've got live music like 6 days a week at this point.
Wow.
And it's just
Wow.
like,
That's awesome.
10 a.m. to noon. Get the ham and cheese croissant and a cup of coffee, a beer if you're feeling frisky, and enjoy some there's like a klezmer style band. There's some like string bands, like this like all sorts of wild shit. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Great concept.
It's pretty great, yeah. So they, back in like 2017, 2018, Gary Parker, one of the owners at Iron Horse, he's really involved in like the Ritzville kind of greater area of grain growers, and he had gone out to I don't remember if it was like maybe like a crab feed or maybe he had gone to something at WSU, but he had first heard about purple Egyptian barley. Yes. And he said, this is the coolest thing. This is so exciting. These barley growers are trying to bring it back. There's local maltsters that are doing this. We should really work with them. And so we collaborated and made a purple Egyptian pale ale, maybe something. I don't even remember. I remember it has a purple logo on the can. That's about all I remember. But it was a beautiful beer, and it was the first time I met like the folks from from the Grain Shed as well as LINC Malt. And just ever since then, it's just like, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you making?
What you doing over there?
And so, because at Iron Horse, it was very like a malt-friendly brewery, and so I, even after I started working in hops, is like I always still have like a special spot in my heart for malt. And so like at conferences, like our team will all like split up to go to different lectures, and I'm just like, see you later, going to the malt side. So I'll tell you guys what's going on, But yeah, so it was cool. So I've been able to stay in contact with Brian in one way or another through friends of friends, and it's just so neat being able to like infiltrate. I'm an interloper to what's happening over there, I feel like, but it's very exciting. But it's true though. Like a lot of folks don't realize that hop breeding, especially, we're really lucky. So I'll get into that when we talk about 1019 and Vera and stuff. But hop breeding, we're lucky because we have actually like a lot of commercial growers that are trying to breed their own hops. So obviously we have the HBC, so the hop breeding company, which is formed by one half John I. Haas and one half Yakima Chief Ranches. We're competitors. As soon as a hop actually is ready to go, we're actually competing on selling it, but we work together to breed it because we know that good hops makes good beer, and good beer is good for everybody. So
Awesome.
Well said.
it's pretty rad. And honestly, breeding hops and growing hops is time intensive, but it's not as resources intensive. You can do a lot of handwork. I mean, hops are very hand-on plant, like it's very labor intensive.
Right.
However, breeding for barley is so much more labor intensive and so much more like specialized programs and specialized tools that you need. So really breeding for barley oftentimes goes to like the USDA or the universities.
Sure.
And we know what's happening there. I can go into another rant if you want
They
me
have
to.
an excess of research money right now, right?
100%.
Totally.
And support because, climate change definitely isn't real. So anywho, sorry guys.
As the sweat goes down my back.
I know, seriously.
So we're really lucky in hops because we actually have unique farms that are breeding their own hops. Like you've got the anchovies that are coming out of Siegel Ranch. We have El Dorado coming from the Demarays. Like there's a lot of cool things that are happening at every farm. You can kind of do that. When it comes to barley breeding, it takes about the same amount of time, but the amount of specialized resources for the actual malting testing and the brewing testing and stuff is a lot harder than throwing a handful of hops into a keg,
Sure.
in the end. And so it's just so resource intensive, and so it sucks because barley should get as much support and as much celebration, but people kind of it's like the same thing as driving on a road. You don't notice the road unless it has a pothole, right? And barley seems like people only treat about it like as potholes. So when there's a drought and suddenly your grain can't handle it and your protein is going super high, your husk is extra thick, you can't mill it the same way, shit goes wrong.
Everybody's, we got to focus on our barley right now.
Yeah. And
yeah.
then it's, a day late and $1 short. So it's like, I'm just going to.
You're like, we're here for the rest of the time too.
Yeah, exactly. And
We
so
could
to
use
me,
some
it's
money.
like, it's cool that I really love, knowing the folks that are working like at LINC Malt and Cold Stream Malt from the farming practices all the way up to working with the brewers to make sure that this barley is doing what you want it to do. The world needs more of that, but it needs so much more support and like a focus and spotlight on it, because it's just as important, if not more important, for your beer. Because if you don't have anything to ferment, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hop waters are nice, but I'm not drinking that every day. There's other parts of the beer that I'm also as interested in. So yeah, sorry. I just wanted to. It's so cool what you do, and I'm just a big fan. So yeah.
Can you talk a little more about the breeding process, how that works?
Yeah. I mean, I think the and Rikki, thank you for that kind of like framing. I do think one, it's a super long from doing an initial cross where you're taking the genetics of two barley varieties, and maybe one's got a certain characteristic or trait that, whether it's disease resistance or how it yields, maybe how it tastes, although unfortunately that's often an afterthought. We've got to push on that a little bit, but the various traits that you'd be looking at to say, how do we do that but do it a little bit better, where you'd use just the natural reproductive plant process of barley plants to make a cross, blend those genes, but then start making selections where you've got a bunch of genetic expressions based on that. And generally speaking, you're talking about a decade-long process from making that cross to saying, okay, we think we're onto something. Okay, we're vetting it more and more rigorously. And now we think we've got something that's ready to release out into the world. And then it's a matter of say, okay, well, great, it's available, but as a variety, but is there adequate seed stock available? Has it really been utilized? I think that the question of what is the scale required to really understand any specific, variety or raw material well, I think, and I say this somewhat diplomatically and also with a little bit of relative ignorance. My impression of the recent history of malting barley varieties that have been released in North America is just because you make it through that 10-year process and you get picked as maybe the one winner within every couple years that a new variety that is malt quality level getting released, doesn't mean it's actually going to perform when it's brought to scale. And so there's this oh shit, we thought that was going to be the variety for the next 5 to 10 years, and it turns out it's a dud. Growers don't like it, or the maltster doesn't like it, or the brewer doesn't like it. And so the time frames that you're talking about, even with some pretty remarkable innovation and how the research and technical components get done, it still is just brutally slow. And I think across the board, both private breeding as well as public breeding, resources are only getting dialed back, whether it's because the big outfits, large macro brewers that are breeding their own varieties, who are not having the best time in the industry right now as far as their volumes and whatnot. But then especially, public research is, not under threat. It's whatever the past tense of being under threat is. It's been threatened, and we're in a rough spot. And I think Washington State is in a unique position where barley for a long time was a pretty important rotational crop across much of eastern Washington, but really anchored in the feed market, so animal feed. And between free trade agreements and kind of the major development of corn and soy as feeds grown in the Midwest, the feed market in Washington really tanked quite a while ago now. And so the opportunities for growers to say, hey, I love barley, I like it as a rotation in my overall mix, but I don't have anywhere to go with it. Barley has really struggled here in the state as a consequence. And I think one of the things that has been interesting as a really small player in all of this is the amount of attention, this idea of hey, while this was happening, there's this kind of downward reality for barley, this segment of both beer and distilling over that same 20-year period has blossomed and has an interest in something from here that's of quality. And so it's a real open question right now if there is enough of a future for regionally produced barley and other grains used for brewing and distilling to make the crop viable kind of at like an economic level for agriculture. And what's caught in the middle of that is the breeding reality to say it's like, is it worth sinking a bunch of resources into this thing that the acreage has dropped off and dropped off and dropped off? But then at the same time saying, well, if we're ever going to get back, what innovations need to be spurred, what resources need to be brought to bear. So, figuring out how to pay for that, who should be doing it, what the feedback loops are, a little above my pay grade, but also it's like we're one of the handful of folks who are trying to have this conversation. I think that the big folks of the world, which Great Western is the big outfit in the Pacific Northwest, right? But you've got Brees, RAR, et cetera. These conversations are happening kind of across the spectrum, but for the Northwest, it's what is Washington State University as the agricultural college doing? What is Oregon State doing? Which their barley breeder retired, and it's not. My understanding is they're basically not replacing that role.
They're folding the seeds over to WSU's program, I think. Yeah.
So there's this contraction probably at just the moment where, especially when you take into account, my thinking about the long term, like how much money do we want to spend on infrastructure and facilities in Spokane and the Inland Northwest is like in 50 years, are we going to wish we were in like northern Alberta as the climate changes? Is like, if we're not breeding varieties that are going to be ready for what the weather is going to look like in 20 years, like I don't want to be pouring concrete and putting in big buildings to do it here. So, but that's what I want to do. I want LINC to be making malt in a century. I want it to be in the Northwest, and the hard process of just making a malt quality barley, that's going to have to happen within the context of like what are we doing as a society, I guess.
Kind of, yeah.
It's a really big problem.
It's a microcosm of society problems.
And I'm all about
think about it like that.
Doing I can do my little free market role in that. Like we as a business need to find ways to be contributing to that. But I can at least vouch for our small ass little company. Like we're trying to create some common good, but we probably need some common good to help realize it. So.
And you're dependent on dryland farming out there, right?
Yeah. So the Palouse, which is the kind of the most impressive, critical, substantial sub-region in Eastern Washington for cereal grain production. The only water any of that land gets is the snow that falls in the winter and that then melts into the ground and builds soil moisture, and then the rain that falls across the rest of the year. There's no irrigation to speak of. There are parts of Eastern Washington where irrigation projects allow sprinklers to run on your crops, but that's a constant question of is there a higher value thing that we could be growing, kind of regardless of where it's going. And
dude. We have to take a break, but I'm so glad you guys are here for 2 hours.
Do you think we'll get a fourth question in?
I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't even care because I'm already having so much fun.
Perfect.
We're going to take a break, get fresh beer. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Cool.
Greetings, listeners. Thank you for listening to yet another Channel 253 Podcast Network episode.
This episode is only able to happen thanks to the listeners who have supported Channel 253 with a membership of $4 a month or $40 a year. They help keep the microphones running. And if you appreciate what I really think is like a public service to the people of Tacoma, I hope you will support what we're doing.
Especially at this time when there's a mayoral race in Tacoma, and we're trying to cover that, as well as all the other things that we cover: food, beer,
politics, moving to Tacoma, just the interesting people around town. We've got a lot to check out. So if you like what we're doing, visit channel253.com/membership. And thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out during the break. As always, a shout out to Doug, our wonderful producer.
Oh, gosh.
Makes it sound
Love you,
awesome
Doug.
every single week.
Yay,
I love you,
Doug.
Doug.
Cheers, Doug.
Please do go check out Channel 253. Pretty good idea to stay connected to your community and to its leadership. And Channel 253 does a great job of making that pretty easy for people.
Especially now.
Especially now. So yeah, please do go check them out. Absolutely support them. Shout out to Chris for putting us on video. If you guys haven't yet, go to YouTube, find Great and Great Podcast, and subscribe and do all that because it's actually super, super helpful, and we appreciate it. Plus, you can pretend you're sitting here having a beer with all of these beautiful people.
Is it even pretending?
They don't
No, hopefully not. Hopefully you're just having a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 people over there who are not pretending.
We've all got new beer in front of us. Yeah. The dozen of people.
Oh, yeah. I mean 40 or 50.
Yeah.
Ron, what are we drinking here, man?
We're drinking Lost Abbey's King of Tyre Oak Aged Barley Wine Ale.
Jesus.
And it's delish.
Perfect weather for
Smells
this.
amazing.
Yeah.
It does smell incredible.
Cheers, Sean.
Cheers to Sean.
Yeah, indeed.
Who's not dead, he's just not here.
Yeah.
That was a joke I made like a year ago. I stopped making it. But I almost died. Like Sean used to almost die. So
I can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
it's not even gonna be good now. I'm like hyping it up too much.
What new beer did you get?
I grabbed a Kiwi Crispy.
Kiwi Crispy.
So good.
Dude,
I can like
Yep.
smell it across the table when you guys were drinking it, and I was like, I need to drink one of those.
I'm gonna do the Instagram thing. I have the Dalton. It is. You're welcome. I watch a lot of YouTube.
It's smaller than I thought.
So it is Dalton IPA from
They got
Georgetown. It is made using crush hops, which used to be known last year as HBC 586.
Yeah.
Which like. Forewarning, maybe we're going to talk about the HBC in a second.
Yup.
But the Dalton is beautiful, so yeah, I'm very excited to drink it.
Yep.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm drinking Mind Plant, double dry hop West Coast IPA with Mosaic, Strata, and Talus from Single Hill.
Yeah.
Classic. This is a classic beer made better by a little bit of craft malt. Single Hill puts a little bit of our Baroness English Pale in pretty much all of their West Coast
Cool.
IPA, and also it's like hot tip is if you're if you wanting to like get Mosaic character out of your beer, you should put a little bit of Baroness in it.
Yep.
Like even if you're
Ooh, that is a hot tip.
a silo fill of Great Western Pills, like slap a little, 5 to 10% Baroness English Pale or Pale in that, and you're gonna get more aroma. Like it can still be about the hops and benefit from
But
good malt.
the body, the
Right.
mouthfeel, the sweetness character itself that comes from the Baroness is so nice. Like that's one of my favorite things about the Douglas Lager is the Baroness is a beautiful malt. Like
It
it's
really is,
gorgeous.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we keep saying we're going to talk about malt in the second episode, but
But we talked most.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. Ricky brought hops, and I want to talk about hops, but I do want to talk about Baroness. Because I love that.
It's all just so exciting.
I know.
I'd like to smell hops.
This is our favorite episode series in a while.
I have the feral joy after Ricky
Oh, did
had
you?
it. And then next episode, I'm going to have to get the Mind Plant. So I'm just going to follow suit, whatever you guys are drinking.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this is really good.
Oh man. Ricky,
Wait.
you brought presents.
Oh yeah, I brought presents. Yeah, we should probably do this before they get too warm.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you know, I'm a fan of malt, but my day job is something that I really like to do. Just putting that out there. Please don't fire me. I deserve at least a 2% raise. Okay, so let's see here. I brought a few different types of hops that we can talk about. So to kind of build on the whole Dalton thing, the HBC, so the hop breeding company is, as I mentioned before, it's partially owned by John I. Haas and Yakima Chief Ranches. Yakima Chief Ranches is pretty hand in hand with Yakima Chief hops. So, our competitors, our main competitors are actually our main allies when it comes to making hops or making a good plant that people want to grow and that people want to brew with.
Sure.
So, last year, we named HBC 586. After 12 years in the making, it got a name, and now it's called Crush. This year, on August 12th, HBC 1019 is going to get a name. I cannot tell you the name. I'm so sorry. I know what it is, and she's a sweet little cutie. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, so HBC 1019, if you think about the actual... So Every variety of plant, like as I was just at the Dahlia Garden out at the Point Defiance Park, so shout out 253. The Dahlia Garden has like a million different types of dahlias that you can see. HBC 1019 is another one of those million different types of hops. So they're cute little tiny cones actually, and they have a big pack or a big punch. A packet. They pack a big punch of
Nailed it.
awesome things, right? Yeah. I can't do tongue twisters when I'm sober, so this is going to be hell. Okay, so 1019.
Episode 2, baby.
Episode 2. HBC 1019 is, well, I'll first give it to
Ready.
you guys to all kind of smell. So to kind of smoosh them up in your hands. Sorry, it's pelletized. You're going to get sticky. Is that time
Is
of
it
year?
going to be called Cutie Patootie?
I wish. Maybe I will call it Cutie Patootie. I was thinking that too, so that you and Phaedra can smell them too. So 1019 is a cool one. So let's see here. So quick little fun stuff that I've learned from the breeders over the years is that the healthier your plant is, chances are the higher the alpha acid content can be. So new hops that are coming out tend to have higher alpha acids. That's okay because they also have a higher, stronger flavor profile, higher oil content.
Right.
You need less hops in your beer, which is efficient, which we like. Also, the cones are healthier and more resistant to various pest pressures like mildews, all that type of thing. So you get more bales per acre from this hop. And so you get more bales per acre, which means you need less acres planted, which means less pesticides, less water, less everything, less inputs to get the same big, huge flavor output. And then also because it's so big and huge, in your beer, you need less pounds per barrel, which also means yield savings. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
So 1019, though, is a beautiful hop. Okay, do you guys want me to ruin it for you? I'm going to put a bias in your brain.
Okay.
But
Wait,
yes.
can we say what we smell first?
Yes, do it. was
Vanilla
about to.
and melon.
Ooh, good. Yes, okay. Lychee, I heard
Man,
lychee.
somebody beat me to it.
Yeah, okay.
Fucking nerd.
Tristan. Other Tristan says lychee, but this Tristan is also a good Tristan.
There is a distinction.
Oh, also, I'm just gonna have to put a shout out. The handsome person in my life, Paul, is here. So my actual husband, the person I like the most.
Actual husband.
Yeah, who I like the most.
He is handsome.
There's another handsome.
It's another handsome Paul. Who else wants to call it anything before I tell you what we decided to call it?
Yeah, like
Hello
Robitussin, lychee, like that was like what I got too, because those have like some vanilla in them. So that's
The watermelon, it's the watermelon flavor of the candy that's just like the fucking,
Like the Jolly Rancher bars?
Yeah, Jolly Rancher. But it's like
Airheads?
Little League. They go like little strips of just like kind of taffy. Like if you
Yeah.
flatten a taffy. Can't remember what those are called.
I was
like
thinking
candy watermelon
Airheads,
kind
but
of.
yeah, Laffy
Sure.
Taffys.
Ooh, Airheads.
I think it's probably Airheads.
Yeah.
All of the
Speaking of
above. Yeah.
Airheads too. Yeah. All right. So, pina colada. Do you like pina colada?
Yes.
So pina colada, you get peach rings,
yeah, okay.
you get this
We're all
like
gonna do that now
tropical
and look like
citrus,
newbies.
lime,
Pineapple.
key lime, pineapple. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. But I like to think of it. So HBC 586, aka Crush, is the it's like the fruit salad for the people you like. So you've got the berries that are actually healthy.
lines off this
You've
later.
got mangoes. You've got like all the other fruity stuff. And HBC 1019 to me is like a delicious pina colada, but like you've got like a peach ring on top. Like you're putting like something maybe a little minty in there. You're
Sure.
just kind of throwing in a lot of just fun jazz and citrus just to make it fun. So 1019 is a cool one. It's high yielder. It's a pest resistant. It's great in the heat. There's a lot of hops like Centennial, for example. And Centennial is a beautiful local legend, right? You know, we've had Centennial forever. Centennial cannot survive. There's so much pressures that are happening. It's getting so hot. It's all the things that are happening to Centennial. It's going to be around, but it's not going to be good.
Not gonna be
you know,
yeah,
you
it's
can't
not gonna
depend
be
on
the
it,
same.
right?
Yeah.
So the hops that are coming out of these breeding programs now are going to be a lot more resistant. And honestly, like 1019 is kind of like not even the lowest grade. You want it to be at least 10 bales per acre in the heat. You want it to be the certain things. And Centennial can't do it, so we have other hops that are coming down the pike that we're like, maybe you can start sprinkling this in on top of your Centennial, right?
Sure.
1019 is not one of those, by the way. 1019 is a big, beautiful tropical bomb.
Yeah.
So actually at Revolution, they made a beer called Office Hours because we have a couple people who work in Chicago. And when they meet, they're like, it's Chicago Office Hours. And it was 1019, Crush, and Galaxy hops in it. So it was like, yeah.
Just Yeah,
It was
the
big,
most
beautiful.
insane, like, dank
They brewed it like it's a West Coast Pilsner, but in like the best of ways, it's a tropical West Coast Pilsner.
Sure.
Speaking of West Coast Pilsners, the next hop I brought is the Vera. So the Brewers Association, part of GABF this year, they actually introduced the guidelines for West Coast Pilsner. That's a new judging guidelines, which I did not read about. I don't know what they are supposed to be. I don't really judge beer. I feel like all beers are good. I mean,
How diplomatic of you.
all beers are good beers.
All the home brewers in the room right now are like,
It's the only thing I disagree with so far, Rikki.
No, it's I don't like diacetyl. I am very sensitive to diacetyl, so there is beers that I will not drink again. But that being said, so speaking of new, so Vera. Okay, so one of the misconceptions that people have is that major hop growers and breeders are against public breeding, and that is actually the opposite. So the main fundraiser behind the USDA hop breeding program for like private fundraisers, I think, is Anheuser-Busch. Right behind that is all the other hop companies. We're all putting money in there. Like, they're growing their hops on our properties too. We're all working together to make sure that public hops are going to be as best as possible. So the newest from the newest hop from the hop breeding. So the Hop Research Council, which is a group of brewers that are very interested in what's going on in public hop breeding, as well as the Brewers Association, as well as the USDA hop breeding program. They've worked very hard to create this new hop, Vera, the newest named hop from the USDA. So I brought Vera, so let's drink it.
yay.
And there actually is, so speaking of the Brewers Association and GABF, they actually created a category this year just for Vera. So if you are competing a beer made with Vera, you can compete in the Vera category.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's really exciting. So
That is cool.
it's like, I really hope they work with Amba next year for like the newest malt variety, because like if Vera is getting that.
I'm going to cut you off. So shout out to bring it all back to malt.
Yeah.
That's what we're really here for.
As we do in this industry, it's the most common thing is to be like, stop talking about hops. Shout out to our LINC maltster Zane and his daughter Vera.
Yeah.
If you're brewing a beer in this category, like, you should just be buying some malt from us.
Probably.
Sure. Doing And
I mean,
if you
yeah.
win, just dedicate your victory to Vera.
To Vera. She's the coolest little gal. She really is the coolest
She's
little
the
gal.
sweetest gal.
Vera technically was named after a mycologist from the USDA. She was, sorry, but we got to tell Zane, we got to gear his daughter into mushroom breeding, you know? So she was a mycologist for the USDA. If you know Zane, it'd be really funny. So yeah, if the USDA, their early mycologists, a lot of their researchers, one of them, her name was Vera, and so this is named after her. So the Brewers Association, not only do they have a West Coast Pilsner category this year for GABF, but they also have a Vera category, and Vera is great. So Brewers Association every year during harvest has what's called well, shit, now I don't have the name of it. It's they want you to come and evaluate all of the USDA hops, and so you go to Yakima Valley Hops, which is our sister company at John I. Haas, and you go and evaluate all of the different experimental hops that are coming from the USDA, and so they're taking them out to like the hop suction. So everybody's coming into town for hop suction or evaluating those hops. We take them to different conferences. People get to evaluate them some more. There's a whole lot of brewing happening with the HRC. If you're a brewery who's a member of the Hop Research Council, you can also brew with it early. And this is a beautiful hop. So what do you guys think about this one? Because I didn't do my research beforehand. I forgot what this one's supposed to be like. It's supposed to be good though, I guess. I'm assuming.
There's so like some hops, and I've never quite understood like where it comes from, but there's like some like classic like dry French whites that do this too, but like that little bit of like rubber sort of thing, like Alsatian whites kind of have this sometimes, but like,
is it like a jasmine that you're thinking of?
maybe, but it reminds me of like tennis balls, like rubber tennis balls.
Yeah. See, like that's what Azaka does for me. I get like a bit of a tennis ball, that type of thing. Yeah, but this is also like nice and floral.
It's super floral. Yeah.
But it's
It's like punchy European, like not soapy, but like very perfumey.
Yeah, but it's strong enough to definitely be an American hop for sure. Yeah.
I like that floral, maybe jasmine. I get like a little bit of like cedar.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cedar.
Yeah, it's like to me it's kind of a linalool, like linalool and geranium bomb. So linalool can kind of go so Fruit Loops, lemon bars, sometimes lavender. They all contain a high amount of linalool in it, and so depending on what you're having it in combination with, you'll go one way or the other. But this is
rose.
it's pretty and rose, yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a pretty girl.
Like dried.
I like Vera. I'm a big fan. So remember, Vera from LINC Malt.
No kidding.
Make sure you're using your LINC Malt. Okay. Like I said, I really like
100%. I can't argue with you.
Okay, so this last one, I guess I should have had you guys like save your hops a little bit, but so this last pack of hops I brought. Wait, what is it? Oh, I snorted it. Nope. I mean, as long as you're not doing anything with your nose for the next like week, yeah, you do you know?
I did.
Okay, so this last pack of hops that I brought for the kids at home. So this is the very first time. Haas has never made a specialty blend before. So we have always we might have fucked around in R&D to what else can we do with this?
Sure.
But this is the very first time that Haas has made a specialty blend that's used as a fundraiser. We wanted to start off on the right foot. We wanted to start off with an organization that we all really believe in. So the Michael James Jackson Foundation. So I'm not necessarily the best person to talk about the MJF. I'm not a member of the MJF. There's actually a lot of brewers in the area who are either members of the MJF and been mentors, or they're scholarship awardees, that type of thing. But the Michael James Jackson Foundation was founded by Garrett Oliver of Brooklyn Brewing to create a scholarship fund for people of color in the brewing and distilling industries. It's so necessary because this place is real fucking white, and I say that as a very privileged white lady. Yeah. So the MJF, we've all been a really big fan at Haas for a very long time, and we had the opportunity to hey, why don't we make a blend? Why don't we actually do something? So we reached out to them and said, well, what do we do? So to me, I feel like this is my baby, because what happened is that we actually looked at all the lots of hops that we had and from various varieties that we knew that people like. And I actually selected each lot of hops that we wanted to offer to go into the blend. So the actual lot itself. And then I sent all of those lots of hops through our sensory panel to make sure everybody was still down with this pellet is great. I still like it. It's still performing to what we wanted to do. And we brought those 16 different samples to the board meeting in November in Brooklyn for the MJF, the Michael James Jackson Foundation board meeting was happening. And what they did is that they went through and evaluated all the hops themselves, and then everybody created their own blend. We blinded the blends, and we set them out so that everybody could vote on the blend, and it was a ranked choice. Another big political topic.
Good tie-in. So ranked choice is really good then. That makes total sense for this.
Yeah.
Where was this meeting again?
Yeah, I know.
In New York?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
So we went to sorry guys. we went to Brooklyn. So they did this. So every member of the board created their own blend. We blinded it all. It was ranked choice, so 2 points for the top and 1 point for your second best. And I also prepped information about the growers of every single lot. So oftentimes they're blends of different growers and stuff. And one of the things they requested was hey, we want to have at least a few farms that are represented that are people of color or minorities. In hop growing, there is one farm that actually really fits that bill. So there's Loza Farms in, not Sela, or Wapato, maybe? Toppenish? Fuck. Junior. Yeah. I'm sorry, Junior. So Junior Loza and his father, Leon Sr., wonderful people, the sister Claudia, the entire family runs this farm. They grow beautiful hops. That is the only minority-owned hop farm in America.
That is so depressing.
So we managed to get a source of hops that were just that lot. Ended up being the blend that won was Loza Citra. It was a T90. It was Loza Citra Lupomax. So it was our concentrated pellet. Yeah. It's 4 equal parts. So the Loza T90, Citra Lupomax, Eldorado, and Ilani hops. Ooh. So another private grower that's breeding their own hops. And it's half fucking Citra. So,
it's going to be awful.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you haven't brewed with it yet because you're kind of nervous about brewing with like hop blends, because sometimes it can have 15 different fucking hops. It kind of gets muddled. You're not sure. This is half fucking Citra. Get some hops. It's real good. Fine. It's going to be fine. So I just had the Crosstown Classic from, sorry. I have opinions. Here's the thing, though, is that the John I. Haas donated $5 for every pound created. So we put $25,000. We wrote a check before the hops were even released to the MJF because we don't think that you should get paid on what we sold. We want you to get the money. This is what we do. And the MJF blend is open for anybody who wants to buy it. You can get it from Yakima Valley Hops. You can get it from Haas Direct. No matter the size of your brewery, you can buy directly from Haas now. We have that going on, just so you know. And we just really believe in the MJF. If we sell out of this blend, it'll be a lot easier for us to make another blend, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, half Citra. Maybe you should do some brewing. Yeah.
You've given so much love so far in this conversation, so I want to step in. If you don't fucking buy this blend, LINC Malt's gonna fucking track you down.
So when you open the bag and start kind of like pouring it out into your hands, this is the coolest part. So our pelletizing team is the best. Because we already had pelletized these hops, but we wanted to put them in the blend. So this is hand blended by our pelletizing team. This is why it's 4 equal parts, because they had to go through and cut open the major bags that they were doing and blend it all in together. So it's really cool because when you look at the actual pellets, it's a bit of a salad. It's a bit of different colors of greens and stuff because every pellet, another fun thing, pellets are really cool. Hop pellets are really exciting when it comes to actually the making of the hop pellet. So the pressure you apply, the die size, the die diameter, the temperature you're doing that with, lot to lot, variety to variety is going to be different. And we have, I'm just going to say it, we have the best experts in pelletizing in the beer industry around the world. Bryce Hyatt, who is our pelletizing manager, who's retiring next week, has 40 years of experience of creating hop pellets. He's the reason why hop pellets are used by craft brewers. Because for a very long time, people were like, oh, whole cones are nothing because pellets are gross. Only the big boys do it. But Bryce was able to show them, well, if you do them properly and you use them properly, your beer is actually going to be better because of it. Yep. And so a good pellet, just a quick little primer, a good pellet, if you squeeze it, it's kind of like a cookie. Like a chocolate chip cookie that's not overcooked, not undercooked. You want it to kind of crumble apart just a little bit. So a hop pellet, if it's too hard, won't actually go into solution. If you're putting 3 pounds per barrel into your like fermenter, for example, and it's not actually breaking apart, and it goes down to the yeast and just falls out, you spend a whole lot of money for nothing. But you don't want them to be too soft. So depending on the type of pellet, if you have a concentrated pellet, they're going to be softer. That's okay. There's just less vegetative matter. But if it's a normal like T90, for example, if it's so soft, what's going to happen is that powder is going to sit on top of your krausen, and they're also, again, not necessarily going to get what you need. So pellets are cool.
To summarize,
so you know.
So pellets are the most substantial technological innovation in beer in the last 40 years.
Actually, So
and increased So
here's a sidebar on a sidebar. So Haas, we're part of the Barth Haas group. John I. Haas is part of the Barth Haas group. So we have Barth Haas UK, Barth Haas Germany, Hop Products Australia, and then some little like satellites like selling to China and stuff, right? So in Hop Products Australia, the Barth Haas group has worked with them to improve pretty much every step of the way. Our breeder, Simon, oh shit, sorry guys. Yeah. Smell your hops. Okay, sorry. So our breeder, Simon Widdock, Dr. Simon Widdock down in HPA, he's been breeding for HPA, the Hop Products Australia, for about, I want to say like 10, 15 years. He's been making beautiful hops. He's got Galaxy, Eclipse, Vic Secret, so many wonderful things. However, pretty much every step of the way after those plants were crossed, there was something that needed to be improved upon. So for a long time, it turns out Galaxy wasn't doing so well because over time, it turns out the pelletizing process wasn't efficient. The cold storage wasn't efficient. Sensory wasn't up to the standards that what we use here at John I. Haas. So part of the reason why I wasn't here in February like I was the last 2 times was because I was actually down in Australia with my boss, Jeff Daly, our sensory manager.
Yeah.
And we did intake on every lot of Galaxy hops.
Holy shit.
And every lot of Galaxy hops also went through the brand new pelletizing facility at HPA that was designed and built by Bryce Hyatt, who designed and built our Line 3 pelletizer in America, in Yakima. They basically, we knew what worked for Line 3 because it had been installed a couple years ago. And Bryce said, okay, this is what you guys want to do. This is what we've learned since then. This is what you want to do. They turned on their pelletizer with Bryce right there, as well as Andrew Ball, who's taking over for Bryce as Bryce retires. Wow. They were both down there saying, okay, this pellet is this hop, like Eclipse, for example, is full of oils. It's amazing. Pelletizing, though, it kind of sucks.
Oh, sure.
It takes a lot more of a delicate hand. So they're right there, every single variety as they're coming in saying, okay, you're going to want to try this first. Then you're going to want to try that first. So the pellets, the sensory, everything that's coming now out of Australia, especially from crop year 24, crop year 25, we're really proud of and we're really excited. I didn't bring it here because they're not actually off the boat yet. So, they'll be here soon. Yeah.
What is the graph called that shows?
Oh, the violin graph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because we're accommodating in the malt industry, we were brewing at Holy Mountain the other day, and we accommodated a Haas sensory room at the end of the day. Ricky's
my
colleagues
boss Jeff
were there.
Sure.
I did flip off the HPA guys on their Zoom call-in before I realized who they were, which is a bad habit of mine.
It's always a good way to lead off a Zoom.
Chris Swersey is a really nice guy. He's from the Brewers Association. We like him a lot.
I was kind of blurry, I'm sure. I felt blurry. The coolest thing was they did present the kind of crop year quality, and there's this thing called a violin graph, which shows the relative quality to be very low to very high, and then the frequency of the incidents. And Galaxy in particular has a certain reputation over the last however many years. And seeing that violin graph, it's stretched very long and thin, and it's there's total crapshoot. Seeing the new crop quality stuff, which I think is attributable to the team at Haas and their support of HPA. It's just this blob of quality that's moving upwards, but very consistent.
Sure.
And everything that we rubbed was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's
really
really,
fun.
really, really exciting. Yeah.
And also Australia is really cool. And okay, here's something real fun. Okay, sorry, sidebar again.
I know, we're gonna have to. Doug's like, what the fuck?
Sorry, Doug.
Cutting room floor.
Is it two-parter?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Second episode short.
So in 1825 in Hobart, Australia.
Starting back in the 1800s, baby.
Yeah, 1825, Hobart, Australia. Cascade Brewing was founded.
What?
Yeah. And it's still a brewery now. Cascade Brewing in Hobart, Australia.
In 1825.
In 1825. It was like a taste of home. So I just walk up the river trying to find a platypus. I never saw one. It was really sad. Also, the toilets don't flush in the opposite direction. The Simpsons lied. Just saying.
Wow, everybody lied.
Yeah. So,
Rude.
Okay, that's all my sidebars. Thank you.
Out of time for fuck ups, so we'll wait for the second one.
Okay.
However, you guys, come back next week.
We'll do 3 fuck-ups then.
Yeah.
All right. Grit and Grainers. Email us at cheers@gritandgrainpodcast.com with your comments, opinions, and failed attempts to describe a hop aroma as vibrant without sounding like you're naming a Crayola Koran. Or tell us how your theory on why every advanced Cicerone secretly dreams of being a cartoon truffle pig, nosing through sensory panels for obscure theos and hints of Smurf nostalgia. We read and drink everything we receive, and we try to respond as quickly as can, if not online, then on air, ideally while blind tasting a flight of lime candies, arguing whether lemon lime zest is a valid descriptor or a citrus cop-out. You can subscribe to Grit and Grain on Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher, and please leave us a review. Also, check us out on Channel 253 and gritandgrainpodcast.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and whatever fine olfactory hallucinations are sold. You'll find episode notes, beer news, and a sensory lexicon that might just include phrases like tangerine ballroom, dank gym socks of the gods, and grapefruit pith filtered through childhood memory. And remember, just because you can't see a flavor doesn't mean it's not lurking there, waiting to ambush your palate like a well-dressed ninja with a fondness for bubblegum esters and crushed gooseberry dreams. If this podcast is not what you expected, please alter your expectations. Your method of hot rubs during sensory panel. Bare hands? I am the rub. These calluses? Earned. Latex gloves? I once went to the ER because I touched my eye after handling Simcoe. I have learned. Nitrile, double layered. My hands are insured, my nostrils are legend. Fingerless mittens. I'm just here for the IPA samples and the fruit tray. No such thing as a bad time to visit Tacoma.
That's right.
No such thing as too many hop rubs before noon.
Yeah.
Tune in next Friday for more sweet chatter. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Good up.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you. Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Move to Tacoma, Interchangeable White Ladies, What Say You, Citizen Tacoma, and Kitchen 253.
This is Channel 253.